In this lesson, we will analyze the data of test scores below to determine the best measure of center and best measure of variability. Analyzing the test scores, notice they're ordered from least to greatest. If we cut it down the middle, notice the data values are spread out fairly evenly to the left and right, indicating the data is symmetric. Because the data is symmetric, we will use the mean for the best measure of center and the mean absolute deviation, or MAD, for the best measure of variability. If the data was skewed or had outliers, we would use the median for the center and the interquartile range for variability. So again, because the data is symmetric, we will use the mean for the center and the mean absolute deviation for the variability. Let's begin by determining the mean. Recall, to determine the mean, we sum the data values and divide by the number of data values. We have 8 data values, and the sum is 617. 617 divided by 8 equals 77.125, which is the mean, which is our best measure of center. And now let's work on determining the best measure of variability, which is the mean absolute deviation, on the next slide. To begin to determine the mean absolute deviation, we need the mean, which we already have. And now we'll form a table where the first column will be the data values. The second column will calculate the deviation, which is the difference of each data value and the mean. Notice we get positive and negative values. Next, we find the absolute deviations by taking the absolute value of all of these deviations, or all of these differences. And then finally, to find the mean absolute deviation, we sum the values in the last column, where we sum the absolute deviations and then divide by the number of data values, which we know is 8. The sum of the absolute deviations is 23. 23 divided by 8 is equal to 2.875, which is the mean absolute deviation, which again is the best measure of variability because the data set is symmetric. We already know the best measure of center is the mean of 77.125. I hope you found this helpful.